Grandma, I got you a DNA test.
Oh, how thoughtful. Thank you,
Tell
dear.
us about our ancestors.
I can't wait.
She only wanted to know if she was 12% Irish. That's it. At 64 years old, Margaret Collins sat at her kitchen table in Columbus, Ohio, laughing as she sealed the small plastic tube that held her saliva. Her granddaughter had gifted her the DNA test for Christmas. "It'll be fun, Grandma," little Ava had said. "Maybe you're part Viking." Margaret had lived a simple, predictable life. 42 years of marriage, 2 children, 3 grandchildren. Sunday church, Wednesday, book club. Nothing dramatic, nothing mysterious. Or so she thought. Before we begin, welcome to Storytales. If you love powerful, emotional stories inspired by real-life events, make sure you subscribe and become part of this growing family. And tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? And has a small decision ever changed your entire life? Because what happened next changed everything. The email came on a Tuesday morning. Marguerite almost ignored it. She was busy baking banana bread. But curiosity won. She clicked. Ethnicity estimate: 48% British, 22% German, 18% Irish, 12% Scandinavian. "Huh, I knew it," she whispered. But below that was another section she hadn't expected. Close family She scrolled. Her son Daniel was listed. Her daughter Rebecca, a few cousins. And then something strange. Robert Collins, 0% shared DNA. She blinked. Robert Collins, her brother, her only sibling. They had shared a room growing up. Shared secrets, shared grief when their father passed, shared responsibility caring for their mother. 0% shared DNA. She refreshed the page. Still zero. Her hands began to shake. There had to be a mistake. She called Robert. "Hey sis," he answered cheerfully from Arizona. "What's up, Rob? Did you ever take one of those DNA tests?" "Yeah, last year." "Why?" Margaret swallowed. "What did it say about me?" There was silence. Margaret. "I thought you knew." Her heart dropped. "Knew what?" "It said we weren't full siblings. I assumed Mom told you." The room felt smaller, the air heavier. "No," she whispered. "She never told me anything." And suddenly, 64 years of certainty cracked open. Pause for a moment. If you were in her place, would you hang up or demand answers? Immediately. Comment below. Margaret drove 3 hours that same afternoon to her mother's nursing home. At 89, Eleanor Collins was fragile, but mentally sharp. "Mom?" Margaret said gently, sitting beside her bed. "I took a DNA test." Eleanor's eyes widened just slightly. "And?" she asked. "It says Robert isn't my biological brother." Silence. Then a tear rolled down Eleanor's wrinkled cheek. "There are things," she whispered, "you were never supposed to know." Margaret felt anger rise. "Never supposed to know? It's my life!" Eleanor stared at the window. "Your father wasn't Robert's father." Margaret blinked. "What? Before I married your dad, I was engaged to another man. His name was Thomas Whitaker. He left for Vietnam and never came back. I was pregnant." Margaret's stomach twisted. "Dad didn't know. He knew. But he loved me. He raised Robert as his own. The secret had been buried for decades, but that wasn't the twist." Margaret drove home numb. At dinner, she told her husband. "Frank," he looked concerned but calm. "So, Robert's technically your half-brother. That's not the end of the world." But something bothered Margaret. The DNA didn't say half-sibling. It said no shared DNA. Not 25%, not even 1%. 0 that night. She couldn't sleep. She reopened the results, and then she noticed something else. A close family match she had ignored earlier. Name: Thomas Whitaker Jr. Relationship: parent-child, minus 49.8% shared DNA. Margaret froze. Parent-child. Not uncle, not cousin. Parent. Her father. Wasn't her father either. Her entire identity shifted in a single click. The next morning, she called the number listed under Thomas Whitaker Jr., a man in his early 60s, answered. "Yes, my name is Margaret Collins," she said carefully. I think we might be related." There was a long pause. "My father was Thomas Whitaker," A sighed slowly. "He died in 1998. Who are you?" Margaret's voice trembled. "I think I'm his daughter." Silence. Then the man whispered, "That's impossible." But DNA doesn't lie. Over the next few weeks, the truth unraveled. Eleanor hadn't just hidden Robert's father. She had hidden Margaret's too. Margaret had been born from a brief reunion between Eleanor and Thomas, months before she married the man Margaret believed was her father. Her legal father had known and chosen silence. Why? To protect the family's reputation in 1950s Ohio, to avoid public humiliation, to preserve stability. Margaret felt betrayed, but also strangely empowered. Her entire life she had struggled with feeling different, less connected to her father, slightly outside the family circle. Now, it made sense. She wasn't crazy. She wasn't dramatic. Her intuition had whispered truth for decades. And here's the hidden power in this story. Sometimes the truth hurts, but it frees you. Margaret met Thomas Whitaker Jr. in person 2 months later in Nashville. He looked like her. Same nose. Same laugh. Same dimple on the left cheek. For the first time in her life, she saw her reflection in someone else. They hugged like siblings who had lost 60 years. Robert, meanwhile, struggled. "You're chasing a new family," he accused. Margaret shook her head. "No, I'm expanding it." But the real emotional payoff came unexpectedly. Margaret visited her mother one final time before Eleanor passed. "I was angry," Margaret admitted softly, "but I forgive you." Eleanor wept. "I was scared," she said. "Back then, secrets were survival." Margaret held her hand. "You should have trusted me with the truth." And in that quiet hospital room, 6 decades of silence dissolved. Today, Margaret celebrates 2 birthdays, one for the father who raised her, and one in honor of the father she discovered. Her identity didn't shatter. It expanded. And if there's one lesson in this story, it's this. The truth may rewrite your past, but it doesn't erase your worth. Before we close, tell us in the comments. If you discovered a secret like this at 64, would it break you or build you? And where are you watching from right now? Because here on Storytales, we believe every hidden story deserves to be told. If this story moved you even a little, subscribe, because the next one, it might hit even closer to home. And trust me, you won't see it coming.